Hello everyone, this is the sixth video of the Fluid Simulator series. In this we're going to use the Fluid Simulator for Mesh to make this example. In my previous videos I have shown that how to use these presets as assets and the settings of these Fluid Simulators and how to use Fluid Simulator for grid curve. In this we're going to use the Fluid Simulator for Mesh. So let's get started. So for this example, we're going to use this model and it has this kind of mesh. Keep in mind that this fluid simulator work for any kind of mesh that may have a quad faces or triangular faces. However, if your mesh has really sharp edges, then fluid may be unstable in that case. So keep in mind that. So let us add the fluid simulator for mesh onto this object. Go to Asset, then KS tool. And here we're going to use Fluid Simulator Mesh Modifier. So let's drag this onto this model. So we have this. Let's change this to Geometry Nodes Editor. And this is the node setup for this Mesh Fluid Simulator Modifier. So first we don't need these particles. Let's disable them. And also we don't need this curve for this animation of this collider. So let's delete that. And also we don't need this path. So we're going to put this collider directly at near to this forehead of this model. Let me disable the modifier so we have a fast response for this. Okay, something like this, and we're going to increase its rotation speed. First we're going to do the simulation for 200 frame. Second we're going to change this keyframes. So let's bring them to 200 frame, and here we're going to use 360 times 4. So this is kind of motion our collider has. Now let's enable the modifier. And if we go to this material preview, we can see that. Let me show you one problem first, and then let's first disable this, enable exact pressure calculation. And if I run this, see, we have unstable fluid. The first reason for this unstable fluid is that we haven't defined the boundary for this mesh, and second, because our mesh is complicated, it's not like a plane or a spherical, so we have to use this exact pressure calculation. Okay, let's enable this, and second we're going to define the boundary for this model. So let's go to the edit mode. Then you have to select the boundary edge like this. Then go to this data tab, and in the attribute section we're going to add a new attribute, that is boundary, and we want this at the edge domain, and it should be boolean. To set this attribute, go to mesh, then set attribute and enable this. Now our boundary is defined. Now if we run the animation, you will see that our fluid will be stable. See, it is perfectly stable. If your fluid is unstable, first check the boundary condition, and second, if your mesh is complex like in this case, then you have to enable the exact pressure calculation option. Now we don't need this color, we want this to be a black, this initial color. In this dynamic setting, we don't need the velocity from this collider. We only going to use to assign the color based on this collider proximity. And for the velocity, we're going to use the velocity based on the noise field. So this is the velocity from the noise. So let's select this here instead of this velocity. So for the scale, we're going to use 3. And for noise speed we're going to use 0.01, and we also don't need this turbulence force for this example. So let's see the animation. So we have this kind of fluid animation. Now we're going to work on the material. Let's change this material to the fluid material, and here we're going to add the ramp node, and then we're going to mix this with the metallic material. Let's make this metallic, and for the color we're going to use something like this, and let's mix them. And for the factor we're going to use this as our factor. So let's adjust this color ramp. Yeah, and we can also make the roughness low for these two materials. Next we're going to add the displacement, so that we have a kind of edge between these two materials. So here, so we're going to use this as height. See, we have this. Now we have a sharp edge, but if we directly use this displacement, it may produce artifacts. So to work around is we have to combine this with the bump map. Use this as normal and this for the height. Okay, something like this. Then you will not have artifacts. And for the white material, we're going to also add the Voronoi noise. Voronoi. And let's increase this to around 250 and maybe 0.05. We have this small scale detail on this. Okay, so this is the material for now. Let's first bake this, and then we will adjust the color of this node accordingly. So to bake this animation, first go to this modifier panel. So here you can define the bake directory where you want to put the bake file, and then go to the physics. In the simulation node panel, you can basically press this bake button to bake the simulation. So let's bake this. So this kind of mask we have this from the fluid simulation. But one thing I forgot is that we have to make this color conservation factor 1 so that we can preserve the details in the color. So let's rebake this. Now see, we have the details in the color. So that will give a really nice effect when we mix the color based on this. So let's go to the shader node, and here we're going to basically use this color to mix this yellow color with the white color. Or basically I want to give the look something like gold and silver. Yeah, something like this. So this white going to be gold, and the rest of the thing is going to be like a silver color. So let's mix this. Let's bring this color to the B and this as the factor, and let's connect this to the base color. Now let's also put this here. Then we're going to decrease the saturation for this around maybe 2.5. See, now we have this kind of details in the mask. So let me see this. Yeah, so let's make more yellowish. Yeah, now it is there. See, this yellow color is dripping down. So this is the node setup for the material, and so this is the node setup for the fluid simulator. Let me zoom this, and these are the settings we used for this example. So this is it about this example. If you have any query or doubt, you can ask me in the comment section, or you can ask me on my Discord channel. In future, I'm going to add more examples with these fluid simulators. See you in the next video. Until next time, happy noding. Bye.